But
Hmm.
yeah, so let's go ahead and get started. Please,
Yeah,
sir, what have you got for us
yes,
today?
yeah. So guys, appreciate the time today. I've done this in the past, and so hopefully this is a refresher for some and new information for others. Uh, First, before I get started, Jamie and Jackson, I am one of our senior pre-sale systems engineers. My role responsibility is really just to make sure that you guys, as customers, you have a great experience with Dell devices, client devices, right? And so my role is really just to kind of talk you through the technical side of that, make recommendations for drivers, BIOS, firmware that you can deploy out to your devices to kind of streamline, optimize the performance. But then along the way, you guys as users or your customers have users, you need the ability to manage those devices or really give a more expected outcome, or let's just simply say a great experience with those devices. And so in order to do that, you got to maintain those devices. You have to update those devices. You have to get visibility into those devices. So the tools I'm going to talk about today really give you a lot of that. And before I dive right in, I do want to highlight, if you can see behind me, I am in our Client Solutions Interactive Lab here in Round Rock, Texas, or our Palmer location. Um, what this lab is specifically for is for customers who want to really just put their hands on devices before they make a purchase, or see those devices before they make a purchase, or are considering. We have every single client device in this room. The great part about this room is, like I said, you can come in, have a conversation, talk about the devices, but then really do that comparison. And what a lot of people love to do is that gen over gen comparison. And we're in the process of actually rolling out new client devices now. So a lot of times you'll say, what changed between the one last year and the one that comes out this year or coming out? And so what you can do is put them side by side, see the physical difference, and then we can talk about the performance difference. Um, like I said, the great part about this is you as a customer user can come into this lab with the team. However, if you can't come in to the room, the guys do a great job virtually where they can whatever devices you want to see, they can put them on a table and they can focus on the things that are very specific to you, like IO ports or the size difference or the texture. They can highlight those things so you can see it and make a more informed decision on your device purchases. So feel free to reach out to your sales team, make sure that you ask about the interactive lab and just get the information that you need. All right, let's dive on in. All right, one more slide. All right, just for time's sake, Austin, go ahead and tap enter, let's say five more times, and we'll just build this out and I'll talk about it while it's building. So one more back, or go back. Sorry. Yeah, right there. All right, so from a tool standpoint, we offer a couple of different tool sets that manage or help you maintain your devices. And one of those tool sets is called Dell Client Command Suite. If you've been a customer of Dell for any time, you probably know about some of these tools in some form or fashion. But for those that don't know, quick highlight and quick focus here. So the first one you'll see at the top on the left is Dell Command Update. This is our tool that helps you maintain drivers, right? So think about how you really make sure your devices have the right driver at the right time. This is a tool that you can either set to be automatic, or you can set it to be manual, where your technicians or engineers have to physically click a button and it will scan, identify drivers, pull those drivers down and apply those updates. Or you can actually schedule it. So you can define the date, time, reoccurrence that you want to deliver those drivers. And then you also have the ability to filter what drivers get applied. The best part about this, and the part that I love make sure that people know about, is these tools are a bit like our web. So if you are a customer or a user who have a BitLocker enabled device, it will automatically suspend BitLocker, apply that BIOS update, re-enable BitLocker to maintain that security of that endpoint. The next tool in the list is Dell Trusted Device. This is a tool that really focuses on your BIOS, making sure that your BIOS is secure. So it checks the hash of your BIOS, make sure that BIOS has not been tampered with. But then it also does a scan for any CVEs that are available related to that BIOS, making sure that whatever the vulnerability that could apply has a proper path to resolution. And so, again, it kind of maintains that for you, but at the same time, you have the ability to interact and make the recommendation of deploying that BIOS update. Dell Command Configure is a GUI-based tool that allows you to do BIOS configurations. So basically, you can set whatever BIOS option you want and deploy that out to your endpoints, whether you're using, I'm going to go back, whether you're using MDT or you're using SCCM or move to MECM with that integration with Intune, all of that works with all these tools, but specifically that one, you can configure those options and then deploy them. We have an agent called Dell Command Monitor that delivers OEM-specific information to whatever modern management tool that you have today. So what that does is let's just use SCCM as an example. When you do a hardware inventory, it has the ability to give you the fan speed, the thermal tables that have been set on that device. All of those Dell specific things that just don't come generally, it will bring those over. It will give you the option to drop that into a CSV, or it can drop into your SCCM database. And then, the sweet spot about that is you can also get warranty information, right? So having the ability to run a report that shows you when the warranty of all of your endpoints expires, that little agent, very small agent, will handle that for you. Now, the last one is really the screenshot that we have here. This is Dell Display Peripheral Manager. This is an awesome tool that captures all of your peripherals and then gives you the ability to manage those. So every option here, every peripheral that you're seeing here, whether it's the monitor or the webcam, you have the ability to configure the settings for that and then really set it how you want it to be set up. Looks like there might have been no automation there. Thank you. And so same thing with the keyboard. You can configure all of those tools or all of those devices so that you have a very clear expectation of how they're going to interact with the user in the environment. Now, there's a sweet spot to this tool, Dell Display Peripheral Manager. If you hadn't heard of it, remember it. I'm going to talk about it a little bit more because it fills a gap that almost every one of our customer has today, and it's going to solve a problem. All right, you can move to the next one. Awesome. So those are all of our on-prem tools. Now moving to our cloud integrated tools. So the first one is Dell Management Portal. This is a tool that, let's just simply say, gives you visibility into your Intune enrolled Dell devices. So what you do is give read-only access to your tenant, and from there, we present you with all of that information. Awesome. Next slide for me. Thank you. And once you give us that authorization, you're then able to see all of your Dell devices, but not just see them, you can actually get information about them. You can identify what Dell applications have been delivered to them through the management portal. Sneak peek, we can deliver applications into Intune. It also gives you the ability to know who is the user logged into that device. Does that device have a BIOS password today? Is that BIOS password set, or can I change it, copy it, different other things like that? I'll just say one of the big value adds with that whole thing is we're giving you access to MS Graph information. So we're delivering that into the management portal. So through that process, you can see the BIOS password of that device. You can also see the BitLocker key of that device. So BitLocker gets triggered. You have the ability to copy that BitLocker key, email it to the user. They can plug it in, problem solved, or to a technician on site. So the management portal is our tool that gives you insight into your Intune enrolled Dell devices, and then you have the ability to interact with them through a couple of different options. Next slide. So through those options, you have the application catalog. So think about all those tools that I just mentioned, Dell Command Update, Dell Command Configure, all of those can now be delivered using Intune that by way of the management portal. So basically through the management portal, you publish those applications into Intune. Once they're in Intune, you don't have to interact with the management portal anymore. Everything you do at that point forward is Intune based. So now what we're doing is making sure that you can use Intune to deliver your applications, and not just deliver them, you have the ability to also configure those applications through Intune. Next slide. So another one of the applications that we offer is a number of Dell Pro AI Studio based models. Let's just call these templates, right? So as you guys are investing, or your users are investing in NPU based devices from Dell, you have the ability to do some very, let's say, basic testing, right? So we give you access to 7 different models today that you can deliver to your endpoints and start evaluating, how is this performing with this NPU? Can I actually use this NPU the way that I expect to use it using the AI Studio? And so Josh did a great job of talking about our services platform related to the AI Studio. What the great part of what this does is this is kind of the foundation of that. If you get started here, test it, evaluate it, and it makes sense, you've already done some of the work to actually move it into that broader platform. And so, like I said, all of this is really just making sure that you have access to tools that give you the ability to answer some of the questions that Josh mentioned earlier. And really, like, again, I'm going to reference what Josh said, data, right? Data is paramount here. And so this is your data. You control it, you maintain it. And so we're giving you access to a way to deliver that to the endpoint, to test it, evaluate it, and then you can expand it if you decide to, and not much work to do beyond that. All right. Next slide for me. Awesome. Thank you. And so one of the last great features of the management portal is you can build your BIOS policies. So configure your BIOS policies, set your BIOS policies. Once you have your policies set, you simply publish it. And when you publish it, it delivers it straight into Intune. And just like I said before, once it's in Intune, you're using your Intune processes to maintain it. So what I basically mean by that is, hey, if I need to set the thermal management of all of my devices to be optimized, because we have 4 modes, optimize, quiet, you can set that and publish that. Once it's published into Intune, in Intune, you simply assign it to a group, and then it gets delivered to your users. So we're leveraging what you're already using today, what most people are using today, just to make that whole process easier. Next slide. Last thing is, wanted to talk about, we do have a partnership with Microsoft that gives you the ability to secure your BIOS with or without having a BIOS password set. We all know traditional IT have a BIOS password. That is the clearest, easiest way to secure your BIOS. That is true, that is correct. However, if you have an Intune enrolled device, Microsoft has a mechanism that allows you to secure that BIOS without having a BIOS password and still maintains that security. So we have that integrated into the management portal through Intune and giving you that secure connection. Okay. All right, 2 more here. And again, I want to save the best for last, but jumping in. So Dell Client Device Manager, this is our new platform for delivering modular-based applications to your devices. So for those who heard me talk about Dell Command Update, Dell Command Monitor. Those are all different tools, right? And so traditional sense is every one of those tools occupies storage, occupies resources, occupies services in some cases. What we are planning on doing, what we're doing, and we're expanding. I'll let the cat out of the bag there. The Dell Client Device Manager is going to be our new platform for delivering those applications. So now through Intune, you'll be able to deploy Dell Client Device Manager to your devices, and through Dell Client Device Manager, you'll be able to assign the different modules that you want to deliver. Today, we have, if you're using this or seen it, you'll see you have update and you have secure, or we have it on screen here. Those are the two that we delivered today. The update is simply Dell Command Update. The secure is simply Dell Trusted Device. And so the plan here, moving forward, is to be able to deliver more applications through that same mechanism. And the great part is when you deliver that, we also give you access to an ADMX and ADML file that you import, and you can configure those components using ADMX, right? So that is the mechanism that or the platform that we're using. And like I said, this is really to go to a more modular based delivery system for our different tools. Next slide. So here's what it's going to look like. This is kind of that sneak peek. So at the top, you see Dell Command Update and Dell Trusted Device. That's what we're delivering today. And then Dell Core Services is really the foundation of all of those. What's coming in the future? Peripheral update management, diagnostics, image recovery, API access. Those are, and again, you can read the rest here. All of these are things that we do today, but we don't do them in the same place. We don't use one tool or one mechanism to deliver these. They're all siloed. But our plan is to integrate these together so that we're delivering modules, and you can select which module you want and which one you don't want without expanding the footprint of resources locally on your devices. So that's my celebration message, if you will. Next slide. The last and the best, in my opinion, tool that we're rolling out today that does have integration with Intune for authentication today is the Dell Device Management Console. So I told you earlier, Dell Display and Peripheral Manager was an important tool. It really matters towards something else that's coming. So yes, with the Peripheral Manager, now we have this Dell Device Management Console, which gives you, as a customer user, the ability to manage all of those peripherals, but centrally, right? That's something that not other softwares have the ability to do. And so basically, in reality, what we're doing is we're giving you the ability to, number one, get visibility. Visibility equals inventory. All of your docking stations, all of your displays, all of your mice, keyboards that connect to Dell Display and Peripheral Manager. And then I think I mentioned it, headphones. So all of those components or peripherals, you have the ability to now inventory those, but we take it a step further. You can configure those, right? So now you can actually deliver a configuration that actually manages and maintains that device. So as an example, hey, if you are, we're just not going to say the people, but we all have customers, users that, you know, we give them headsets, but they just don't know where the mute button is on the headset, right? And so this tool, from a configuration standpoint, you can actually ship that device with that automatically muted, or that we wouldn't say that. That would be a good example. But let's just say active noise cancellation. That'll be a great example. Active noise cancellation is automatically enabled. So if your headsets are going to a call center, then their active noise cancellation is automatically turned on. They don't have to figure out where that button is, and you maintain that device. we have configurations like that for docking stations as well as for displays, just different settings. So inventory, configuration, and then my favorite, the best part is firmware updates. So now you can deliver firmware updates to docking stations, you can deliver firmware updates to displays, all of those devices. You can assign the version of that software that you want to deliver, and then set it in a policy. And then as devices get brought into a group, they automatically apply those updates. Next slide. Yeah. So that's how the tool works. So to actually set it up, what you'll do first is you'll go to device.manage.dell.com. You'll have the option to use your Intra ID or your Dell ID. And so once you authorize, you'll then have the ability to create your own organization, right? If it's not already created. And once you log in, that's it. From there, it's simply a matter of adding devices to your tenant. Now, there's a process to add devices. We have 3 different methods. You have zero touch, which you can use DHCP option tags or DNS SRV records to identify the server and devices when they connect. Or you can use what we call host-based, where that's where that Dell Display Peripheral Manager software comes in, because it captures all of those devices that are connected to that peripheral. And then there's an agent that ties in there. That agent is what communicates from your endpoint to the cloud. All of those pieces make that connection, okay? So that is how we maintain our devices with the management, Dell device. And I just went blank. Management console. I am so sorry. That happens periodically. But like I said, all of these are tools that we use today. All of our customers are really starting this journey, and please feel free to reach out to any one of your sales engineers to help you along this journey. We're more than happy to jump in and help out.
Thank you so much, Damian.